Now, I don't want to exaggerate here, but I feel like I found one of the most fun decks that you can try out for the NNR Rarity Festival that's starting up. Now, what's amazing about the event is that everyone can try everything. If you see a deck list recommended on YouTube, someone's playing this, or you run into someone who's playing that, because everything is NNR Rarity, you can just craft whatever deck you'd like to build. So I'm going to be doing a bunch of just fun ideas before these events come out. Konami puts out the custom ban list and lets you make custom rooms with that ban list. So in my Discord, we've run some sets, we've done some testing, and this is what I had the most fun with. Now, it's a level 2 trap deck that focuses on the Paleozoic archetype. It's right behind me. I'm going to get into the details of what's in it, how you play. We're even going to have a gameplay example. But first, a word from our sponsor. This video is sponsored by Tokyo Treats and Sakurako. Now, on the most technical level possibly imaginable, I'm a person, which means you and I have that in common. We can bond over that, right? And as people, we technically have to eat to survive. Now, that exclusively applies until I figure out how to live forever. Now, until that point in time, if I'm eating, I want to eat good, and that is where Tokyo Treats and Sakurako come in with their amazing Japanese snack boxes. Now, honestly, despite this fancy suit, this is a part where I have to break character and tell you that I messed up, and that is because this is just packaging. I put it back. I ate this already. Like, look at this. Look at this. This is open. This is empty. I saved one. They made peach flavored Kit Kats, and I was like, how did you do that? And I ate one, and now the bag is gone. It's empty. All I have left is these wrappers to recycle. It was delicious. Tokyo Treats is a monthly Japanese subscription box filled with tons of popular Japanese snacks, like the Japan exclusive Kit Kat I just showed you. You can't get that anywhere else. I need more. They've got ramen, ramen, and more. There's also this beautiful Sakurako box. Now, Sakurako gets a little bit more traditional, right? The snacks you see in anime, Japanese movies, all that good stuff, right? That's where you get this from, that authentic Japanese experience. All of this is delivered from Japan directly to your door, so you never have to put on pants and go outside. Now, if you're you, and I know you are, you're probably thinking, hey Saul, I would love to try out one of these Japanese snack boxes, but I don't speak Japanese. I've never been to Japan, so I don't know what the box would say. I don't know what would be going on. Well, the first thing I have to say to you is you have a very specific inner monologue, and the second thing I would say to you is that Tokyo Treats and Sakurako provide these 24-page booklets that showcase Japanese culture and detail what's inside the boxes. They are legitimately trying to share Japanese culture with the entire world through the medium of snacking, which is pretty cool. Now, I had fun with this box. It was delicious, it was colorful, it made me happy inside, and it'll make you happy inside too. Try it out. The link is in the description and in the pinned comment down below. Use my code, the one that's down there, because I said so. Thank you very much to Tokyo Treats and Sakurako for sponsoring this video. Enjoy, friends. Alright, so this is the deck list. Take a look. Feel free to pause, screenshot it, whatever you like to do. Now, I'm gonna run through everything that's in it. We're gonna go through one by one, and I'm going to explain why it's in there, why it works together, why I'm having fun with it, and then you can try it out yourself. So very quickly, Dudark of the Ice Barrier. Now, this is a level 2 monster. If the only face-up monsters you control are level 2 or lower, this card can attack your opponent directly. Now, everything in this deck, every monster in the main deck will be level 2 or lower, and I say monster because these trap cards turn into monsters when they summon themselves from the graveyard. It's a whole thing. What's awesome about this card is that it's also a tuner, which opens up your extra deck, lets you synchro summon, do a couple of different things, have a little bit of fun. In keeping with the level 2 theme, we've got Squirt Squid. Now, what this card says is that if your opponent attacks into this card, you can move this card to a different column, either your furthest left or your furthest right. It's kind of like a Mech Knight card, right? And if you do, you get to summon a token with the same amount of attack that your opponent is swinging in with. So if your opponent has a very big problem boss monster that none of your other cards can deal with, you just copy its attack, swing into it next turn. Easy. Planet Pathfinder is limited 1 for the event. You probably know what it does. You contribute this card, add a field spell from your deck to your hand. Now, you've only got 1 normal summon, I guess 2 in the form of Squirt Squid in the deck. So having Planet Pathfinder, not a problem at all. You search out this card, Wetlands. I love this card. All Aqua type water level 2 or lower monsters gain 1,200 attack, and people don't expect it is the thing. And I know that attack boosts aren't usually like the most important thing, but then you realize all of these trap cards that you're going to be swarming the field with all qualify for the boost, so they all go from 1,200 attack to 2,400 attack, which is sizable enough for some beatdown, especially in an NNR limited event. As for the Paleos themselves, Olenoids is your spell and trap destruction. You activate its effect, you destroy a spell and trap on the field, send it to the graveyard. Now, if you don't know how these cards work, is once per chain, when a trap card is activated, if these cards are in your graveyard, the Paleos in general, you can summon them from the graveyard as a monster. They get banished when they leave the field, but That means the activation of one Paleozoic trap on the field can trigger one in the graveyard to come back as a monster, and that's kind of how you get your plays going and you start swarming the field. If these cards are summoned to the field in this way, they're unaffected by monster effects, which is really cool because remember, they're at 2400 attack, so you have 2400 attack beaters just out on the field having fun. Hallucigenia cuts your opponent's attack and defense in half and has all the same effects as the other Paleozoics that summons from the graveyard and everything. Kanadi is one of the more popular ones. You target one monster your opponent controls, flip it face down. Now, you can't flip Link monsters face down, which makes this card not as good, but if you flip a monster down before it's used for a Link material, you're good to go, so that's fine. Pikaia is hands down one of my favorite cards in the archetype. You activate this card, discard a Paleozoic to the graveyard, you know, where it belongs, and then you get to draw 2. So this is your draw power in the deck. We've got another means of draw power, but we'll get to that later. Deinonymiscus is arguably the most popular Paleozoic card and probably the best. You can target one face-up card on the field, discard one card, and you just banish that card. So that's some good non-destruction removal in there for you as well. Now, Morella is interesting. I don't necessarily recommend that you run 3 copies of this card. I've got 3 in here for the time being because I'm trying out different ratios, mixing stuff up. But what Morella does is it sends one trap from your main deck to the graveyard. Nothing crazy. Why it's interesting though is because we're also running good Goblin Housekeeping. This is an old school and we're having fun with this. Like I said, you can draw cards equal to the number of good Goblin Housekeeping cards in your graveyard +1, and then select one card from your hand, put it back in your deck. So if you've got 2 copies of good Goblin Housekeeping in your graveyard currently, you activate one on the field, you get to draw 3 cards or turn one back into the hand. And so Morella is effectively used to send copies of good Goblin into the graveyard until you only have 1 left in your main deck. You can also use it if you're running low on monsters in your graveyard to send another one of the Paleos to the graveyard, which is why I've currently got it at 3 copies, but again, you can adjust it. Liancalia is the closest thing I can consider like to be a recovery card for this deck. Target one banished card, return it to the graveyard. Now, this is, like I said, when your Paleozoics get destroyed on the field, they banish themselves. This can get you back your Paleozoics in the graveyard. And so I would potentially, you know, 1, maybe 2 if you'd like to. It's the closest thing that you kind of want to swarm the field with this deck, and so recovery isn't at the forefront of your mind most of the time, but if you need to, this is a very good option. Now, this wouldn't be a trap deck if we didn't have some generic staples. We've got Torrential Tribute in here for some non-targeted destruction. When a monster is summoned onto the field, destroy all monsters on the field. That also counts for when your Paleos are summoned from the graveyard. So if your opponent's acting up a little bit, you can activate a trap card, get a monster on the field, and then just nuke the field, which is really, really cool. Bottomless Trap Hole is an N rarity card. When your opponent summons a monster with 1500 or more attack, you can just destroy that monster and banish it, so that's pretty nice. We've also got Jelly Cannon for some more non-destruction removal. When a monster declares an attack, target one monster on the field, shuffle it back into the deck. And then one of my favorites, another limited 1 card for the event, Fist of the Unrivaled Tenyi. Now, my friend Seluxus is actually the one who recommended this card to me, and it's so good. When a spell, trap card, or monster effect is activated while you control a face-up non-effect monster, negate the activation. It's an Omni-negate, and all of the Paleozoic cards, when they summon themselves onto the field, they operate as normal monsters, right? They're not effect monsters, so if any of them is on the field, you just got an Omni-negate, and if you set this card face down, if this card is destroyed by your opponent's card effect, special summon one non-effect monster from your extra deck. You might have been wondering why this behemoth is in the extra deck. We've got Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon in here, just in case that situation arises. So, you know, that's an interesting one. You're spamming the field with level 2 monsters, so you've got a pretty diverse extra deck, you know, just level 2s here, there, everywhere. But this card up here, Dudark, is a tuner monster, so you can synchro summon, which means I've got 2 copies of Old Entity Cthulga in here. Now, why I like this card is because what it says is, if this card is synchro summon, you can return all rank 4 Xyz monsters on the field to the extra deck. That's not really why I've got it in here. If you Xyz summon a monster using this card as one of the materials, you get to draw 1 card. So, assuming you're in a situation where you've got 2 copies of Dudark on the field, 2 Paleozoics on the field, you make 2 copies of this and then go into a Malevolent Sin, you draw 2. I'm pretty sure that's how that works. If I'm wrong, sorry, but your extra deck, like I said, you're mostly doing some beatdown, so the extra deck is just there for some extra fun, and I just put that in there as an option. I mostly aim for level 4 synchros like Old Entity Hastor, Crystron Quandax, and then I went up to 6 because if I've got 2 Canadias on the field, they're just 2 any Paleozoics, and 1 copy of my boy over here. We can go into rank 6s if we'd like to, and then level 2 synchro summons all around. We've got a link summon in the form of Track Black and Cross Sheep. To be honest, the extra deck is largely filler, but in certain situations it can be useful, especially the XZ summon. Some of them are like recovery cards to get you cards back from the graveyard. Some of them are negates in the form of number 45. Just have fun, play around, and enjoy yourself. Alright, so now it's time for the fun part. It's time for the gameplay. Now, this is where it gets interesting. In my Discord server, the Nakama, the link is in the description down below. We do this thing called Server Locals every weekend where we just come, you know, we have fun, we test decks, we compete against each other, but in a not super competitive setting, kind of like your local card shop, hanging out, having fun. Now, usually I'm spectating and commentating the matches on stream, but every now and then I like to put on a persona of sorts. Now, I changed my player ID, I changed my Discord name, and I hop in the ring on a secondary account. So this week I'm going under the name Maito. Okay, I take the name of someone who's already in the Discord and who's active in the Discord and just isn't attending that particular locals, and I changed my name to theirs. So I've put my profile picture as his, and I've changed my name to his, and so I'm just changing my player ID in game so that people don't know.
A few moments later.
So I may or may not have gotten a bit carried away at Server Locals. I lost my first game and I kind of went on a tangent. I went left and I turned into an anime villain. I don't think I can use that footage. So I called up my boy Seluxus and we're gonna run some sets. And ooh, not a bad hand in the slightest. I actually really like basically everything I've got here. This is gonna be, we need to see what we top deck. This is gonna be tricky to decide, because ideally I would like to set all 4 of these cards. Hopefully I draw into something that I don't mind discarding for the activation of Pika. Okay, I like this card though. This is our tuner. I don't want to give up one of our tuners. Oh my days. And it's not even a Paleozoic card. It's not even, oh wait, hold on, Ritual Summon. So the thing about Megalith is, I don't completely know what they do. Okay, unformed, so this is gonna let you, so full is on the field, and I know that Megaliths are considered one of the best NNR rarity decks, right? So you're probably gonna be running into this quite often. I don't really know this matchup. I feel like it only makes sense to set the 2 copies of Pika, right? Set the 2 copies of Pika, set the 1 copy of Tenyi, right? And I don't think that I should give up. I don't think that I'm gonna hold on to this and discard it. I'm gonna hold on to this and discard it and just normal summon Pathfinder. This is gonna be a turn purely for setting up. I'm a going first deck. Going second, it's not ideal, right? So it's gonna take me a little bit more time to get started, but I feel like this is the better of the plays that I can make right now. Okay, and then I end my turn. Now, I know that you can quick play Ritual Summon, right? I know Megalith can quick play Ritual, as you do, right? So you can quick play summon into a different Ritual monster. That was a level 8 Phallic. That means you can get yourself, oh my days, you can get yourself this thing. You can get yourself Baithor. You can get yourself a Baithor. How many rituals are in the graveyard? 1, 2, oh, that's a lot. You can pop all my back row. That's not the worst thing in the world. I hate that we lost those other cards, but at the same time, Fist of the Unrivaled Tenyi was destroyed by my opponent, which means I can summon this monstrosity of a monster onto the field, face-up attack position, and continue my main phase. I can continue my main phase, set this face down. I think Full will continue to be a danger to me. I'm going to activate Wetlands because when I activate this, it'll be I'm gonna get monsters on the field from the graveyard, right? So I can just swing in with this. Let's take out Full because it's at 1 copy. If I take out this 1 copy of Full, you shouldn't have anything left over, and there we go. There we go. It's that easy. Just top deck Tenyi. That's how you beat Megalith. It's that easy, right? And with this on the field, I don't think there shouldn't really be any means for you to for the Megalith plays to continue from here. That's what I thought. Okay, end phase. Now we're gonna be, I want to be careful here, right? I want to be as careful as I can. Now the problem with us having Blue Eyes on the field now is that Dew Dart can't attack directly. It's still gonna get its boost. It's still gonna get its boost. And to be fair, it doesn't need to attack directly. We have Blue Eyes, so having Blue Eyes invalidates the need to attack directly anyway. Let's just swing, right? So all things considered, all things considered, this matchup could go worse. This matchup could go worse than what you're currently seeing here. Now, with my opponent having a card in hand, by next turn they might be able to start making Megalith plays, but the Megalith plays do take quite a bit of investment, so us just clapping back like that, I don't think was expected. Let's see what you top deck. I feel like maybe they overextended thinking like, okay, it's a trap deck, so if we, oh, Ritual Cage, okay. Oh, that's all you've got, okay. Alright, so this is it, yeah. So there might have been a bit of an overextension on the basis of like, hey, it's a trap deck. If we take out all the traps before they make it to our turn, we got it. But Tenyi, always be afraid of Tenyi. Alright, let's go. Let's swing in. This is lethal. GG's. GG's. So this is, as you can see, a very fun deck. You'll have fun with it if you build it, and everyone can build everything. So like, I'm gonna be putting up deck lists that you might want to try out just for fun because you can play whatever you would like to. GG's to Saul. Thank you very much for the duels. I appreciate it, my friend. So yeah, that's the deck list. I hope you like it. I hope you try it out for yourself and have some fun and just enjoy the festival. That's what it's all about. Like, I'm sure there's going to be like a meta for it, as there is with all things, but just at the heart of it, remember to have some fun because this is your chance to try everything that's out there. So if you like this video, please do consider liking it. It does help me out. It boosts it in the algorithm, does me a solid. And subscribe if you'd like to see more decklist videos like this one and just more fun content overall. Have a great day.